Sunday's Oracle read. It is 4:44 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm just going to make sure everything is doing as it should be doing because I'm two cameras at the same time. So hold on just uno momento, por favor. While I go hop over to YouTube and check out just to make sure that we are in fact live. So I'm doing that. Hello, Facebook. Hello, YouTube. Hello.
Uno momento, por favor.
There we go. There's a delay always there in Facebook, in YouTube land. So I can close that down. I don't know why my head is so big in the Facebook camera, but it is what it is. I don't know who's going to be watching right away and who's going to join us later. Say hello and let me know if you're watching and where you're watching from. Today's Oracle read is all about shadows exposed. Yes. Are you seeing the shadows? I'm seeing so many shadows. I'm feeling so many shadows. I'm seeing so much darkness. It's overwhelming. So it is. So I'm starting today with a little bit of help from the angelic realm. Calling in the angels, please, and thank you. Calling in some angels, so we need to do. And I'm calling in the angels of the Atlantis. Angels of Atlantis. That guy kind of like popped out, didn't it? It wants to be seen. So let's start with this one. Sandalphon. Everything is in alignment, people. Everything is as it should be. Look at this card here, Sandalphon coming out. And look at all the planets coming into alignment. And that's what we've been seeing is massive shifts planetarily speaking. Now, I'm not an astrologer. But I have been observing the dramatic shifts of all the planets, every single last one of them, going into a new sign. And then stepping back for a little back step into retrograde and then stepping forward again into a new sign. And this is bringing massive change like that we've never seen before, you know? It's big. So we got planetary cycles is the card that's coming. And I want to read from the book for this one, Sandalphon. Let's see if I can find it. This book is set up really weird, Sandalphon. And there we go. Planetary cycles, Sandalphon. Hello. Welcome for joining. Sandalphon, the angel of the earth element. Well, lots is happening in this earth. Is completely interwoven with the swiftly flowing changes of Earth's changes of Earth's planetary structure. Many changes have been prophesized. Yeah, we're kind of seeing that. You know, the Hopi talked about the rainbow warriors coming in. The Maya talked about the end of times. Many people have prophesied the collapse of the old structures, moving into new structures, and that's exactly what's occurring now. So we are observing in the here and now shocking changes. This card invites you to look at your own natural cycles and see that you are an organic being living on an organic planet. If you are currently enjoying a birthday or anniversary, see it as a crucial cycle marker in this life on Earth and ask what aspect of your authentic self you are allowing to emerge at this time. Hello, Pam on YouTube land. The question we are all asking ourselves is, what is coming up for us now? And I think a lot of us are having higher chakra activations. We've had some heart chakra activations, a lot of grief as we're processing a new sense of reality. Throat chakra, we're speaking out, we're saying our truth, we're saying no more. Third eye activations, seeing the dark that we don't really want to see at all and connecting to the higher realms. So what in those areas seems to be opening up for you? Sandalphon is asking you to reveal how awe-inspiring you are and how you can allow the angels to carry you to a new level of inner peace. Yes, please, inner peace. Inner peace for all. Peace in is what I say. Peace in. Letting your true self come forth. Chant, ha. letting to stabilize earth element within you. This will help you ground yourself as you move through this cycle change, fence to easily incorporate many new changes. So there we go. I'm calling in the angel Sandalphon to help us ground all these shifts and changes that for some may feel very overwhelming and destabilizing and confusing and anger inducing and emotional and so many changes. So Sandalphon is coming to help us in this, and we're welcoming them in because everything is going into alignment of exactly what it should be. It doesn't feel like it. Right? Before things right themselves, they need to be exposed. So we are in the exposing so that we can fix what's broken, right? We can fix it if we know what it is we need to fix, if we're listening to the problems. I did a video earlier today about listening to the problems. You know, I can remember one teacher I had a million years ago when I was a young child said, God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth, and that's so we listen twice as much as we talk. and I thought that really applies right now. We got to do some listening, opening ourselves up to new levels of truth that we may not want to see. Card number 8 is coming out in the Shadow and Light Oracle, and this is all about relationship and solitude. Oh, yes. I've been in solitude, sequestered into my box for some time now, living completely isolated and alone. I have been since August. And it's intense. It's intense when God puts you in an isolation box and says, right, time out for you. You need to master sovereignty, master independence, master yourself. And then when that mastery is done, when we've faced ourselves over and over and over again, which means facing our shadow sides of self, it means facing our inner child sides of self, it means facing the stuff that we don't want to see and experiencing what we didn't want to experience and feeling all the feelings we didn't want to. It can be scratchy. Look at this card. Like a bag of cats. No! But until we master solitude and understand that this is divinely orchestrated for our highest and greatest good, okay? So being in isolation and on your own is part of this healing journey to help right the wrongs, help put us back together the way we should be. So there's no more codependency, and there's no more toxic relationships, and there's no more using and abusing, and there's no more all of these things, fighting and scratching. Look, I love all this. It's all scratching, and she's staring at this person in front of her. But who is this person in front of her? It's her. It's her who's in front of her. So we need to master our relationship with ourselves before we move into phase 2, which is master a relationship with others. Okay, so the first, as I was just talking about with listening, right? You think of listening as listening to somebody else. Well, let's master our listening skills by listening to ourselves. Listen to your body. Listen, Linda. Listen to your body. Every ache, pain is trying to communicate something. Every disease and disorder is trying to communicate something. Everything that's going wrong in your body is trying to communicate something. So we need to start listening. We cultivate the practice that is listening when we listen to our body. We listen to our inner child. We listen to our emotions. Now, yesterday I was in a yucky emotion of this low-grade anger. It wasn't like a fiery, I want to beat people up kind of anger. It was a low-grade anger. And I was like, I don't like this emotion. This emotion sucks. But I am not to push it away. I am not to repress it. I am to sit in it and listen. Listen to it. So I went and I isolated myself, and I just sat there with my anger in silence so I could hear the anger. distorting the anger's message by loud music or television shows or social media. Just silence for about an hour. And I'm like, okay, you want me to feel this emotion? I'll feel this emotion. I'm going to complain a little bit while I'm doing it, but I'm going to feel it anyways. I'm going to allow myself to have this sensory experience that is this anger, because it serves a purpose. It serves a function. So we cannot repress anymore any part of ourselves and deny, I'm not listening. Remember, it was our children, when we were children, we were often told, go away, shush, right? So we learned to tell our emotions to go away and shush. We do that to ourselves because that was the program. Go away and shush. Don't complain. I'll give you something to complain about. And so we say to ourselves these things like, oh, I shouldn't be angry. I should be happy. I should be this. I should be that. And we beat ourselves up because we're experiencing something that we don't enjoy. The lesson isn't to enjoy life. The lesson is to experience life in its fullest. And right now, we should be feeling angry. The collective is angry. And it should be angry. And it should be irritated and frustrated and annoyed and whatever else is coming up for us. So sit in it and see what it's bringing up for you. And listen to you. Listen. Listen, Linda. Listen. Next, I'm going to pull from the Dark Mirror. I've pulled out 8 oracle decks that resonated with me today. But if you would like me to pull a card for you after I go through these 8 decks, please say so in the chat. Tell me what emotion you are feeling lately, and from that, I'm going to pull a deck for you. So just put an emotion in, and I will pull a deck for you. But just, here we go. It's kind of quiet vibe today. It's a weird energy, minus like 30 something it feels like here. Parasite. Right? We're not afraid to go into the shadowy places. That's why I put the Dark Mirror here today. Card number 19 is coming up with parasite energy. Okay? So this is maybe something we have to listen to our bodies about, because when we are in the company of energetic vampires or parasites, listen, the term energetic vampire implies someone really evil that comes in and takes a huge chunk out of your arm. But there's different forms of energetic parasites. You know, you may know somebody that's a bit of a leech. You know, not overly evil, but yet every time you're around them, you feel a little bit drained. So a leech is like, they just take a little bit more. Or maybe I've come across the energy that is like a flea. You know, fleas infest everything. They get everywhere. They're teeny tiny, but they just get into all your business. Where are you? What are you doing? What's happening at work? Wait, I just want to know everything. I'm going to infest every single area of your life, right? Other type of parasitic energies that could be around could be like the big dark ones. And listen, that's all getting exposed right now, because as we clear the third eye, we see people for who they truly are. We see people, and it's very disturbing and upsetting. And that's why we go back into solitude and we say, no, this energy is not for me, thanks. I'm going to pull away from this. So right now we may be calling out and cutting cords and purifying ourselves from parasitic energy. And that could be family, that could be friends, that could be romantic partners, that could be work placements, because this type of energy is everywhere, you know? So where in your life are you feeling drained and tired and annoyed, and it's always the same thing, and they're gaslighting me, and maybe they're Darvo? So this is the type of energy we need to clear out. If you haven't already, get into the solitude, get away from it, get healthy, get clear, and then sit in whatever emotions come up. Because this parasite, the day of the parasite is like done, okay? They may not know that they're done, but their time is numbered. And the way that I look at it is like, because we're a collective, right? There's the collective of light workers, and then there's the collective of this shadow entity. And every single, even though we're all individual people doing our own individual things, having our own individual experiences, when Bob says, no, you're not going to do that, I'm standing my ground, and Sally says, I want a divorce, and Maria says, I want to tell you what happened to me when I was 5. So there's 3 attacks from far different places all around the world. These people may not even know each other, but the shadow energy takes a hit 3 times. So it doesn't matter if we're standing all together, because every time we stand up individually, the collective is being risen of light, and the collective that is shadow is taking another hit. So think of it like one really big ship that is the shadow ship. And so you send an arrow, and she sends an arrow, and he sends an arrow, and each arrow hit takes one more ding. And it's like, so the more people that stand up in their own life doing their own thing, and you know, it's not about like all at this moment in time coming collectively together. That time may come, but that time isn't now. The time for now is being in our own strength and power to say, that's not on. I'm calling that out. I'm exposing this. I'm exposing that. I'm saying it like it is. I'm gonna take this muzzle of silence off my face, and I'm calling it out. You're mean. This is Darvo. That's gaslighting. That's dismissive. I'm not going to tolerate that anymore, because that parasitical energy, every time we call it out and use our words, what's happening is it's taking a hit, and like the collective as a whole is losing its power. It's losing its power. Just look what's happening in the world right now. It's just crazy. We need a lot more heart energy, okay? We need a lot more heart energy. And so I'm pulling in the Healing Heart Oracle. And I like this one because it's little love letters to your heart. So I'm going to read you a love letter, because I think after all this shadowy shit, we need a little bit of love. I definitely need a little bit of love. And when you've been in solitude for a very long period of time, it gets lonely. Oh my God, now I'm hearing Elvis Presley. Is it Elvis? Lonely, 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 lonely times. Is that Elvis? I don't even know. That's a bit before my time. So it is. I'm not that old. So let's see what messages from Spirit want to say to our heart that might be feeling like, oh, it's so bad. It's so dark. There's so much grief. I feel anger. And remember, grief has anger too. It has bargaining. No, I don't want it to be like this. It is like this. Oh, what is coming out? What is coming out? Oh, more weird conflict here. The Rejected Heart, card number 35. Ooh. Spiky energy. Here we had scratchy energy, and here we have like spiky energy. Transform heartbreak into inner strength. Oh, yes. Look at this card. It's kind of cool. See, it's all like spiky. Spiky, spiky, spiky. He's holding her up, but she's like pushing him away at the same time. Neither of them are seeing eye to eye, but what's very interesting is collectively they are making a heart. They are making a heart, even though they're like, no, I don't want you. No, I don't want you either. You know, like children. That's the energy. So that's why we need to be in our own space, so we're not so scratchy around people at the present moment. Let's see card number 35, what the actual love letter is to our rejected heart. Do your heart feel a little bit rejected? My heart has felt quite rejected through this awakening process. It's been lonely and isolating and a lot of loss. So much loss. Although some of the loss, I gotta say, is like a blessing. Dear heart, I know you have felt deeply rejected by the people you have been the most open, vulnerable, and trusting with. You apprehensively revealed all of you. Oops, yeah, I remember doing that. Had a lot of regret about that, but now I don't. which felt scary and raw, yet you were willing to entrust yourself to another. However, rather than being nurtured, treasured, and adored, you were pushed away. Oh, geez, this is my story. Ignored and excluded. Dun, dun, dun. The connection and understanding you longed for was severed, and you were met with coldness and at times cruelty, shattering what had already been cut into more pieces. You keep trying to collect the pieces and place them into a protective shell so that you no longer have to feel the scarring pain of being cast off, humiliated, or ill-treated. I am so sorry, dear heart, for the loss, the neglect, the manipulation, and the lack of care you have suffered. But the time has come for us to work together. Collect the broken pieces and transform them into love and healing. I am ready to see and value you, my dear heart, for all that you are. Oh, wow, that's beautiful. That one really hits. Like, that one hits a lot. Even last night, I was lying in bed going like, oh, where was the protection? Where was the reciprocation? Where? I feel so isolated and alone. So yes, many of us in this awakening path went through profound grief as our hearts broke open. But you see, the key in that is broke open. There was a great opening that happened and then continued to happen long after that. And that is what divine love is. It sounds like a nice thing, but it, in practice, is very painful. It's going to give us a healing that we can try. Close your eyes and connect to your heart. Ask to see an aspect that has been rejected that is now ready to receive healing. Is that anger? Is it? Have you rejected your anger? I think a lot of people have rejected their anger, and now it's time to love your anger. Can you love your anger? Like, I love the aspect of me that is angry, because that aspect of you that is angry is trying to defend you and protect you. And so maybe it's trying to like elicit some fire in the masculine energy in self to say, I deserve better than this. So is that what's being rejected? Whatever's being rejected, it's time to love the fuck out of it. In your own words, share how sorry you are for the pain that you have experienced. If this part had a voice, how would you respond? Let it express itself and patiently listen. Oh, there's that message again. Listen. Then share from the wisest, most loving, divine feminine part of how you will help this aspect of self-love, acceptance, nurturing, and expansion. You can visualize a beautiful soft green light and imagine bathing your heart in this healing color. Observe any changes that may take place and thank everyone that has shown up and made a commitment to help your heart feel valued by you. And I have some beautiful heart stones here with me. Spirit instructed me to bring some of my crystals over here, and look at this guy. Okay, look at that. There's a beautiful one. And here, so we've got some nice green stones. I don't have any aventurine in there. I thought that I did. But any green stones you can hold on to, bring them close to your heart and let yourself feel. Empty your whatever's in your heart, the pains into your heart, into these stones, and then give them a clearing after is one thing that you can do. But mostly what you can do is just listen. That's it. That's all you have to do is listen to your heart and say, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry you had that experience. I'm so sorry they left. I'm so sorry they ghosted you. I'm so sorry they lacked the capacity to speak their words to you. I'm so sorry they betrayed you. I'm so sorry they abused you. I am so sorry you put your heart on the line and your beautiful glowing heart was trampled on and treated with such disrespect. I'm so sorry. So yes, we're gonna really give our heart space a lot of love. A lot of love. We have Pam commenting, energy is also low-grade anger that doesn't want to go away. And that's because it shouldn't go away. It should not go away right now. We need to embrace that low-grade anger and transmute it into action. But it's going to take a little bit of time for us to process through that anger to find appropriate action. Not just freaking out, but appropriate action. Is it talking on social media? Is it writing to a newspaper? What is it? Is it calling somebody out in a Google review? I had to do that lately. So when we do inspired action that we don't necessarily, that's the thing with inspired action, it's not like, I feel good about this action. No, that's not what it's like. It's sometimes like, I'm so scared to do this, but I'm going to do it anyways. And that's because that comes from a place of anger. So if you've been mistreated, how can I take what this situation is and just sit with it, chew on it, listen to it? And then when I'm inspired to act on it, I'll act from a place of groundedness. Our next card out is another 19. Didn't we already have 19? That's 2 19s. I love it when we get duplicates. 1919. And this one is a spiritual hug. Oh my goodness. I would love a spiritual hug. Yes, in this state of solitude that many of us have found ourselves in for a long period of time, we've been alone. There's been a lot of self-hugging. I still think it would be a really good invention to have a motorized hugging pillow that you can just snuggle into and it just hugs you. So if somebody wants to invent that with me, we'll call it the Manny. And it can give us a hug when we need it. But in the meantime, on our own, we're receiving spiritual hugs. And so this is when we have to look around and see how blessed we are, even in the chaos and the anger, that we ourselves are in this little bubble of blessing. I'm in this beautiful place that Spirit has arranged for me to rent that is safe and protected and in nature. And that is my spiritual hug. So I'm looking at this as like being held and encased in safety. That is divine. I did nothing. This is totally God's doing. I go where God tells me to go, and I've had enough bad runs, and now all of a sudden I got a spiritual hug that just comes in. So let's look at that card a little bit more. Comes in and just gives us all the warm, fuzzy feelings that, yes, we are in fact being nurtured. Yes, we are in fact safe. Yes, we are in fact divinely protected, and everything is happening in divine orchestration. And until we get to have the physical hugs, we're going to have to appreciate the spiritual hugs that we're receiving. Are you receiving any spiritual hugs as of late? I would like to know about it. Has your life given you something a little bit that feels like a miracle, that you're like, yes. Although I was scared and I didn't want to do this, it landed at me in a way, in a position that is like, oh, wow. I'm so glad what my ego wanted didn't work out. Next, we're going to go, that was very, I love it. We got the Phoenix, people. We got the Phoenix. Hold on. Look at this. Transmutation. Card number 29. Look at that. Okay, we got the Phoenix coming in with Phoenix. I got Phoenix tattooed on my chest to represent my entire awakening process. And what I like about this interpretation is this Phoenix is like fully feathered and flying off. It's what this Phoenix is. This Phoenix isn't in the process of being burned to the ground. This Phoenix is like, I'm done. I'm out of here. I've already had my transformation. The burning process is behind me. I am rising up. I like that. Because I can tell you, last year was hard. The year of the snake, and we're not even finished the year of the snake. We still have a couple more weeks before February the 17th moves us into the year of the horse by Chinese astrology, that we get to go galloping forward in a whole new energy. So yes, the last 2 years really have been the burning down. Burning down the house. I'm hearing talking heads. Yes, the house has been burning down, but we're not done. With now other things, we're going to start to see other things burn down. But we ourselves, as light workers that have been on this mission, we've okay, I can handle the chaos and the confusion because my part of the process is done. I'm up and out. And now we're going to become empowered. The goal this year is, how can I empower myself more? How can I get stronger? So last year was, how can I survive? How can I survive this? How can I withstand this? How can I be resilient? Oh my God. And then this year is, how can I get stronger? Now, I never saw the movie The Terminator, believe it or not, but I did see many jokes about the Sarah Connor era. So yes, let's kind of look at it like we're stepping into, I know the premise of the story, and she gets, buff. So this is the year we're going to get buff and go no more, no more. So I like this. I love the Phoenix. Oh, that just gives me the warm fuzzies. Yes, Phoenix. But while we're getting stronger, that doesn't mean it's just going to be an upwards trajectory. We're going to hit pockets of air and go up and down and up and down and up and down. Talking about pockets of air, I still have a plumbing problem, which is very sad, but also comical to me. The pipes were frozen. The pipes were not frozen. They thawed, and then there was air in the pipes, and they were sputtering. And then the plumber came and fixed the problem, and then the temperature dropped to minus 35, and then the pipes froze. So we're repeating the cycle. And now the pipes are not froze because I've been putting heat on the wall the entire time, and now the pipes are sputtering again because there's air in the tank. So the plumber needs to come back again. We're going to do this hopefully just the 2 times this cycle. It's really funny because the bathroom sink is, when you turn it on, you have to stand to the side because it spits out like this, like a dragon. And you'll get totally wet. So you have to stand beside it, and I have towels down so when it spits out, because there's air in the big tank thing. I don't know. It was he was a nice plumber. Fixed it the first time. I'm sure at least now he knows exactly what the problem is, and he'll come with his hose and drain that thing, and there you go. Bob's your uncle. But I do find it very funny. Very funny. So yeah, there's still going to be irritations and tests and tribulations as we are rising up out of, the air. What's in the air? What are we hearing? Oh, air. Air gives us our ability to hear sound. So you may be not liking what you're hearing. There's certainly, I can only do short amounts of videos now because it's I can't listen to anymore. Let's do some self-care as we're getting strong. Low self-esteem is like driving through life with your handbrake on. A quote by Maxwell Maltz. Compose a letter to your future self. Who do you think you'll be 10 years from now? Ooh, that's interesting. That's interesting for me. I've seen who I'm destined to be. Glimpses. Little glimpses here and there. And I don't know how I'm going to get to be that person. I really don't know. But if miraculously I get past all the fear, and there's another thing that comes in like a cold breeze of air that hits you and takes, your heat, the wind out of your sails. Ooh, wind, sails. Right? So when you have just the perfect amount of wind, you can fly off. I don't know if you've ever been sailing. I used to have a tiny little sailboat, Sunfish. And when you get good wind, but then when the wind is sputtering, you're not getting anywhere because the bow keeps switching and changing. You could get hit in the head. You could have an accident. So the winds of change are coming. But they're not going to be like a steady flow that just brings us into the new age. It's going to be, sometimes the winds are going to be like gusty. Sometimes the winds are going to send the mast completely the other side. Sometimes the winds are going to be too strong that you might even like capsize. And sometimes there may be no winds at all, which is like the void stage, which is like nothing is happening. It's so quiet that you can hear crickets chirping. You're like, what is happening? Nothing is happening. And in those times, understand there's a lot happening in us, hopefully building up our self-esteem. So when things are very, very quiet, it's time to practice gaining strength inside, because self-esteem is solar plexus energy. What I've been doing lately is I've boosted my yoga game, and I'm now doing strength training yoga, like vinyasa yoga, which I don't recommend if you are overweight, have a back problem, and haven't been doing yin yoga first for 4 years. First acquaint yourself with yin yoga. But I'm upping my game because I want to be powerful and strong. And next week I start my first taekwondo. Because that's where we got to get into our Sarah Connor era and get a little bit stronger to build our self-esteem. So to build our self-esteem and to build our solar plexus energy, we need to build our body. We need to listen to our body. If our mind is feeling weak, if our emotions are feeling tumultuous, then we need to get more and more into the body so the body feels strong and grounded. Feed our body the healthy foods. Give ourselves the healthy exercise. I went out today walking, even though it was frigid, and get down and do a plank pose. Just test yourself to do something that's going to build up some strength, so that when that letter to your future self that you're visualizing is a stronger, more capable, and more in alignment, which is where we started, version of who you are today. Because who you are today is just new wings. We've got new wings, and we're like, I don't know what I'm doing. This is so much. So it's at least we're not burning anymore, right? Now we're stepping into the building. First we burn, then we build. Now, my last deck that I pulled, and then I'm going to pull any decks that if anybody who's watching would like a card pulled for them, please let me know in the chat. Tell me your emotion. Your real one. I don't want to hear I'm all good. High vibes only, baby. Tell me the truth. What are you feeling? There's so many different emotions out there. Irritable, angry, upset, sad, grieving. What is it? What is it? What is it? And then I'm going to pull a card for you. Oops, we've got a card. So here's our last message. And it just aligns exactly with what I said. This is from my little bag of sweary affirmations, which is the smallest deck in the entire world. And it is telling us to get your shit together and go for a walk. Go for a walk. I just said to build our self-esteem. There's another thing. When you go for a walk, it better be aligned walking. If you don't know what aligned walking is, you really need to find my body playlist or the aligned walking playlist, because when we have our bodies in alignment, perfect posture, shoulders back, all your gut muscles sucked in like Pilates zipper up, and we pull this solar plexus and heart energy forward. So the shoulder blades are back, the shoulders are back and down, the head is up, and we're in perfect posture. Think mountain pose. So do your best mountain pose with your feet forward and your knees forward and your hips on top of your feet, not too wide, your feet not splayed. When you are perfectly straight, and then go for a walk with a little bit of bend in your knees to teach your body what flexibility means. Then we strengthen the core of ourselves. We strengthen this, which is going to help build self-esteem, self-worth. Walk like a king. Walk like a queen. Walk like an Egyptian. Any which way, you're walking with a straight spine. So Mira she is sad. And I am going to pull for you from the Wisdom of the Hidden Realms for Mira, who is feeling sad. Thank you for being honest and showing up with integrity of who you are. I am sorry that you are feeling sad. Grief is a difficult emotion. Sadness is a difficult emotion. And it is brave warrior work. Brave warrior work. So we're going to see what Colette has to say to you today from the Wisdom of the Hidden Realms. And keeping in mind, anything pulled for anyone here in the chat today is for the collective energy as well. So this is for all the people in sad energy as of late. And it's been a bit sad. The energy is a bit sad. Many tears have been had here. And tears are so good. They're so purifying. This is our purification process. So the more we cry, the more we get out all the energies that need to clear. Look at that. And we have the Desert Prince, card number 19. That's 3 19s, folks. That's 3. That's a very powerful number. So the Desert Prince, survival and fake promises. Okay? So pull this card out. He's seeing and observing. Sorry, I got 2 cameras here going. That's really amazing. Survival and fake promises. There's a message for you in this book. So I'm going to find the Desert Prince for you, card number 19, and see what it has to say. When you stumble upon the Desert Prince, you receive a gift. The plant life that exists in the desert environment is well defended, tough, and succulent, even though it gets little or no water. In spite of external conditions, extraordinary life can form and thrive. Be tough, have courage, and dare to dream no matter what the circumstances. It may seem to be a hard time. But not only will you survive, you will thrive. In spite of the conditions, you'll succeed. Dry spells are also a true test of faith and courage. Expect nothing less than what's in your most precious dreams and watch miracles manifest. So yes, we go through cycles and periods of time where it feels like everything's collapsing and nothing is working for us. But you have to trust that you are being divinely moved into where you are supposed to be, right? If I had had my way, I would still be living in that house that was my house in a city I hated and living a life because that was what was familiar to me. But Spirit was like, no, that's not for you, and ripped that away. And I was forced to sell, and then I moved somewhere, and I'm like, okay, this is going to be the place where I'm going to be. And then Spirit was like, no, I'm literally going to hit you in the head to get you out of here. And then I was moved again. And then I was moved. Not have fathomed this. Like, I just would not have. I could not have made this manifest in my dreams because it was so outside of the realm of my dreams. The point of my story is when it all seems like it's going wrong, that's because you're being redirected to what is right. So it's okay to grieve the loss of those things and feel sad and feel scared, but trust that the divine is trying to move you into what is in alignment with your highest and greatest good. And if it comes along with somebody that looks like this dude, whoop, whoop. I'm not saying it's going to, but hey, you know, I wouldn't complain. I wouldn't kick him out of bed for eating crackers. Gotta have a little humor in this crazy. We've got feeling fed up. No more bullshit. Yes, that deserves a sweary affirmation deck. Shall we go into the bitch slaps of the universe? Where are you hiding? Where are you hiding? interesting. Very exciting. For some fiery messages for Carrie. So, yes, we've got, for those that are fed up with bullshit, baby, I've had enough of this. That's good. It's good to be fed up. That means change is imminent. Change has already actually occurred. We're just waiting for the divine to line up the pieces. And listen, fed up, there's a hint of impatience that comes with fed up. Like, I want it now. Why isn't it now? And I'm a little bit like that, you know? I want to see divine justice now. Like, it feels very delayed for me. It feels very delayed. I'm wanting to see it. You know, not the allure of it or the kind of hint of it. And yeah, exposure is great, but I want to see justice. Exposure isn't justice, you know? And being moved from the royal house into the royal cottage isn't justice. Like, really? That's what happened? You lost your royal house and had to move into a royal castle in Scotland? That doesn't feel very divine justice to me. So I'm fed up. That's nonsense. I have a feeling, though, I'm not the only one. So here we go. 2 actually popped out for you, so I'm going to keep them both. And here we go. The first one is message for everyone who's feeling the fed upness. Who cares what mom or dad or friends say? This is your fucking life that we're talking about, and you've got to do the shit that your heart dances to. No one else. No one else. So no more self-sacrificing or trying to fit in with what other people want or people please or fawning. It's all about you, baby. You dance to your own drum. And if there is no drum, you dance to your own hum. What was the hum that we were supposed to say? Yam, tam, ham, hum. I don't know. At the beginning, we were given an instruction to hum something. Ha. Okay? You make your own ha. Dance to your own ha. Ha! Ha! I might just start shouting ha. Ha! Ha! Hey, if it brings about some movement and of some energy, that's a good thing. And then after we do what we're going to do and dance to our own drum, afterwards we're going to counterbalance that. I like it. These 2 cards are in balance. Sit the fuck down and rest for a bit. You're wearing yourself out and it's time to fucking relax. Okay? So we need to be our authentic self and do what we need to do when we want to do it, or not do what we need to do. I want out. I want this. I don't want this. I'm going to speak my truth. That is dumb. I'm going to report that. I'm going to leave a bad Google review. I'm going to be silent because I got nothing more to say to your nonsense. Whatever it is, we're going to do our doings. And then we're going to sit down and go, yeah, I'm good. I did me today. I did me to the fullest today. Does it look like what other people's lives look like? Oh, hell's to the no. By the Matrix standards, you might be living your life totally incongruent to the reality that is the old structure. I am. I'm living like a hermit. And it was really funny because I went to an acupuncturist and because I'm like, I need to help me with my fear. I want some more energy. So my doing, my self-doing was like, I'm going to go do some healing work and go to an acupuncturist. And he's like, well, but the way you've described your life, you really need to get back into community and, eat more foods. And so you can go to restaurants. And I was like, no, that won't be happening. I won't be eating gluten or dairy. And I won't be going to any restaurants. I'll eat at home in my monastery, my little cottage by the lake. I'm going to rest and do what's good for me is what I'm going to do. Anybody else got some vibes coming up that they're struggling to deal with? Throw your emotion into the chat. And if not, I'm going to hop into our review of all the cards that have come up. Maybe I'll start that and we'll see if anybody else has something. So we started with the planets are pushing this and all aligning. And I love this card for this very reason, because everything is moving into new energies last year and this year. And like all of them, when we're talking new 2,500 something year cycles, new 150 year cycles, new 24 year cycles, new 15 year cycles, new 1 year cycles. I mean, like everything is in new. So this alignment is like unlocking, you know, when you get a lock and you have to line up all the things properly for the lock to unlock. So everything is getting like turned. Each one of these is like a little turn. And then when they get all lined up, which is going to be March, it's going to be like, oh, now the energy is really going to flow. Really going to flow when all those planets go direct. Because we still got Jupiter in retrograde. I believe it's Jupiter anyways. So yes, Sandalphon, the angel of the earth realm, is like, hold on, it's coming. Everything's got to get into alignment first before we can unlock the like divine justice, perhaps. That'd be nice. So hold your horses if you're still in solitude, having a relationship with yourself. That's what we need to be in, because this energy is narky and nasty and irritating and sad and angry, and we're a little bit scratchy. So it's better to be scratchy on our own than to be in and around people that, and you'll notice people are a little bit more testy. You know, you go to the grocery store, you're driving your car, you're on social media, whatever. People might be a little bit more testy. You know, they want to scratch at it. You know, our fingernails, okay, our fingernails and our teeth are how we express anger. So, you know, if you think of a cat that's like, it's going to bite at you, it's going to hiss at you, it's going to scratch at you. So if you're around feral people that are hissing and scratching and biting at you inappropriately, that's when you want to go back into solitude where you're safe. Because you don't want to be so close to these kinds of people that you form parasitic types of relationship with, oh, I need to make them feel better. They're having a bad day. They're irritated by the emotions. They're struggling. They're doing this. No, their emotions are their responsibility. So if they are scratchy, you go, adios, amigo. I'm out of here. I'm going to do me for a while, because if I start caring about you more than I care about me, that is the old paradigm that is parasitic and codependent. So sorry that you're having a bad day, bad life, bad year, but you need to go sit in it and do your healing work. And I'm going to go over here and take care of me is what I'm going to do. I'm not doing parasitic energies no more. I can see the parasitic energy, and I'm like pulling away from that. So divine connection, you know, the feminine and the masculine, in a lot of ways, I look at it like on a collective level. You know, the boxers get put into their corners. You know, it's like, yeah, timeout. The whistle's been blown. There's a timeout period, and this is where we like cool down and breathe, because, you know, there's just all this tension coming off. We need to be kind and compassionate to our own hearts. Oh, I'm so sorry. Otherwise, we could get injured, and, you know, we've been injured enough. So let's just show ourselves some absolute compassion in this situation. These types of like triggering relationships are triggering us so that our own like icky energy arises and we can transmute it. So it's like, no matter how far we get away in our physical, in the cosmic, in the 5D, there's still a connection, right? There's still a connection. It's like, we're not connected all lovey-dovey or anything like, but there's still an energetic connection that is like, I trigger you, you trigger me, I trigger you, you trigger me, and that's good. It says, I'm not ready, I'm in my timeout. I'm going to take my hugs from the spirit. The spiritual world is going to be my hugger until B invents the Manny machine.
that hugs you.
Yes, I'm going to invent a manning machine one day. Why not? Envelop yourself in softness, in gentleness, in nice sensory experience. I have the scent frankincense on right now. That's a higher realm, third or sixth chakra, sixth and seventh chakra. This nice indigo purple color. Frankincense or lavender. Both of those would be good scents, aromatherapies right now. As we go through these shifts and changes, stepping into our phoenix self, rising above, being aware that the winds of change are not constant. They spit, they spurt, they sometimes capsize us, and it's going to be a bit of a process. This year is going to be a bit of a process, but it's not going to be as bad as last year. Last year was like the burning. This year is the rising. I like that. This year is also the year to increase your self-esteem. If you need to increase your self-esteem and the solar plexus, I just did a video not so long ago on addictions of the solar plexus, those being caffeine, anger, cocaine, speed, work, all this go, 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 go. And then about 2.5 years ago, I did one on the diseases and, physical disturbances of an unbalanced solar plexus. So those are 2 videos I can go recommend. They'll be in the chakra playlist. They'll be in the chakra places. Yes. What can you do to get into your Sarah Connors era? What can you do to make more strength? More strength is the goal. All right? One of the things that you can do is to get your shit together and go for a walk in alignment. Perfect posture, people. Mountain pose and move. That's it. And we've got a message from the Desert Prince that reminds us that even though we might be going through cycles of loss, and it seems like there's like no survival happening, there's no way out of this situation, that miracles happen even in a desert. There's like succulents that grow with very little things. So trust that spirit is navigating you through and going to provide you with what you need when you need it. That's one of my favorite mantras of all times is spirit, please provide me with what I need when I need it. And that may not be your ego's interpretation of what you need, but that will be what your soul says you need. Those are 2 different things. And we're done with the people pleasing. And who cares what mom, dad, or friends say? This is your fucking life. We're talking about, so you've got to do what your heart desires. You do what your heart desires. And then once you've done some doing, you're going to sit down and you're going to chillax. Balance masculine, feminine energies within you. So that is today's oracle read. Did anybody else have a card that they wanted pulled for them? This is your final warning. Final warning. Final warning. No? Nobody? Alrighty, rights. Well, to everybody out there in YouTube land and Facebook land, I'm sending you guys all my love. And it's hard times. I'm going to be honest with you. It's difficult times emotionally. So the more we work on strengthening ourselves, the more that's going to help with some of these fluctuations. Because although a lot of us have known what's coming, there's a difference between knowing something's coming and then experiencing it when it comes. And that's what we're in right now. We're beginning to experience what we've known, at least I am. I'm beginning to experience what I've known has been coming for a very, very long time. And it's a very weird sensation because that's grounding things into the 3D. And it's no longer in maybe one day it's this is happening here and now. This is really going on. Change is really happening. What is it going to happen? So it can be destabilizing as those winds come along and knock us off course. So if you need some help, feel free to book a one-on-one with me and we can discuss some of the winds of change that are happening. I work by donation and have 3 suggested price points depending on your income. Otherwise, I have the Spiritual Warriors Support Group Zoom meetings on Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. and Fridays at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. And those are absolutely free so that you can meet up with other warriors that are sitting in their solitude and escaping from parasitic energies and dealing with the conflicts that is, people. And you can get your own spiritual hug in the group. Even though it's like Zoom, we're sending lots of like warm fuzzies. I am anyways. Oodles of warm fuzzies and spiritual hugs will be had in the Spiritual Warriors Support Group. So that is my read today. Mwah! Sending you lots and lots and lots of love. Adios, warriors. Adios. Peace in peace.